Welcome to the study of social science. Today we will be doing the first chapter of civics power sharing for class 10th. What is power sharing? Power sharing means sharing of the political power among different organs of the government or among different levels of the government or among different social groups or pressure groups in a country. The ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka. Belgium is a European country. It shares border with Netherlands, France and Germany. It is a small country, smaller than a state Haryana. Even Belgium's population is only 1 crore. But the ethnic composition of this small country is very complex. Let's see the ethnic composition of Belgium. As we can see, two regions of Belgium. The yellow part is Flemish region, where 59% of country's total population live and speak Dutch language. The red part is Wallonia region, where another 40% people live and they speak French language. This dark red area with the lines is the area where 1% Germans live. And in the middle, the orange part is the capital of Belgium, Brussels. In Brussels, 80% of the population is French speaking and 20% population is Dutch speaking. Thus, as we can see, French are the minority in the country but majority in the capital, and they are also rich and powerful. But Dutch speaking people are majority in the country but minority in the capital. And during the 1950s and 1960s, they were not highly educated or economically powerful. They got the benefit of education and development later. But the differences between these two groups caused tension in the country, and tension was more severe in the capital, Brussels. Now let's see the situation of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island nation in the southernmost part of India. The population of Sri Lanka is 2 crores, about the same as our state Haryana. Sri Lanka has a diverse population. The two groups of Sri Lanka are Sinhala and Tamils. The Sinhala speakers are 74% of its total population, and the Tamil speakers are 18%, 7% Christians. But in Tamil speakers, there are two groups. The first group is of native Tamils called Sri Lankan Tamils. The second group is of Indian Tamils, whose forefathers came here as plantation workers from India during the colonial period. So they are called Indian Tamils. Thus we can see that Sinhala speakers are the majority and Tamil and Christians are minority in Sri Lanka. And if we talk about religion, most of Sinhalas are Buddhist and most of Tamil are Hindu and Muslims. Christian are both Tamil and Buddhist. So we found here that both countries have very complex ethnic population which caused conflict and tension in both countries. Majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka gained independence in 1948. After independence, a democratic government was formed in Sri Lanka. But the government did not follow the principle of democracy. We considered that democracy is a rule by majority opinion, but the majority always needs to work with the minorities. The rule by majority should not become the rule by the major community in country. This is the principle of democracy. But in the case of Sri Lanka, as Sinhalese are in the majority in Sri Lanka, in government also Sinhalese leaders were in the majority. They tried to claim their influence over government. Sinhalese leaders start controlling the government and dominating the minorities, means they start dominating the minorities communities, Tamil and Christians. Thus the democratic government of Sri Lanka ruled by the majority opinion and ignored the interest of minorities. The government took many measures to establish Sinhala. First of all, the government in 1956 passed an act that declared Sinhala as the official language of the country. Means Sinhala has become the only language to be used as official language in country. The Tamil language was not given any importance. The second thing was the Sri Lankan government formulated a policy in which only Sinhala applicants were preferred for university position and government jobs. The government and other profession including railways, school, universities jobs given to Sinhala speakers. And the third thing was the new constitution of Sri Lanka declared that the state would promote Buddhism. Means Buddhism is given primary protection as the state religion. As a result, the relation between Sinhalese and Sri Lankan Tamils strained over time. Strained means not friendly. Means the relation between Sinhalese and Tamils was no longer friendly. but a violent conflict arose between these two groups. Now the Sri Lankan Tamils launched political parties and started struggle for their life. By 1980s, many political parties were formed and Sri Lankan Tamils put forward some demands. So what were the demands of Tamils in Sri Lanka? First of all, they wanted to recognize Tamil language as an official language. The second thing was they wanted an equal opportunity in getting jobs and education. And the third demand was regional autonomy, an independent Tamil elam in northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka. Autonomy means here the right to govern or control. As the picture here shows, most of Sri Lankan Tamils live in the north and the east of the island. So they wanted to form an independent state in the northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka. This struggle between these two communities got violent and soon turned into a civil war in the country. As a result, thousands of people of both sides have been killed. How did Belgium government solve its ethnic problem? Belgium's leaders recognized the regional differences and cultural diversities. They amended their constitution 4 times between 1970 and 1993. They made a kind of arrangement that would enable everyone to live together in the same country. The first thing done was, according to the constitution, the Dutch and French-speaking ministers got equal representation in central government. And the aim of equal representation was to ensure that no single community can make decisions unilaterally. Unilaterally means one-sided or itself. Means no one community would be able to take the decision itself. It needs to consult with other communities too. And even though the Dutch-speaking people were in the majority in the country, they accepted equal representation because they got equal representation in Brazil, despite being the minority in Brazil. And the second thing was, Belgium was declared as a federal state. Means many powers of the central government have been given to the state government, Flemish and Wallonia, 2 states of Belgium. Now the state governments are not subordinate to the central government. They are free to take decisions or make the policies. The third thing was, the capital Brazil has a separate government where both the communities have equal representation in Brazil. And here also, even though the French-speaking population was in the majority in the capital, they accepted equal representation because they got equal representation in the central government despite being in the minority. Apart from the central government and the state government, there is a third kind of government called community government. The community government is elected by the people belonging to Dutch, French and German communities. This government looked after cultural, language and educational issues in the country. In short, we can say Belgium's leaders amended their constitution 4 times between 1970 and 1993. And according to the constitution, the Dutch and the French-speaking ministers are equal in the central government. Belgium was declared as a federal state. Some of the powers of the central government have been given to the state governments, and state governments are not subordinate to the central government. The capital Brazil has a separate government where both the communities have equal representation. And the fourth thing is, apart from the central and the state government, there is a third kind of government called community government. This government looked after cultural, language and educational issues. Why power sharing is desirable. In this chapter till now we have discussed the case studies of 2 countries, Belgium and Sri Lanka. We saw that both countries had a diverse population and both countries faced ethnic problems. While Sri Lanka failed to accommodate its ethnic problems, the Belgian government accommodated its ethnic problems successfully by power sharing in different manners. Thus we consider that power sharing is necessary for a diverse nation to accommodate its social diversities. And this is the aim of this chapter, power sharing, to make us know why is power sharing necessary or why is power sharing desirable. Thus the reason why power sharing is necessary can be explained in 2 sets, the prudential reasons and the moral reasons. Prudential means something reasonable or wisely selected. Prudential reasons are the reasons which tell us that power sharing is reasonable or necessary for a society or a country. Moral reasons are based on moral consideration. Let's talk about prudential reason first. The very first prudential reason is Power sharing reduces the possibility of conflicts between the social groups. We know that in each society we have many communities based on different religions, different castes, or different languages. Sometimes people who belong to the majority community start dominating or harming the minorities. This domination can cause conflict and disharmony in society. As we saw what happened in Sri Lanka, Sinhalese, the majority of Sri Lanka, dominated minorities, and the struggle between two communities got violent and soon turned into a civil war in Sri Lanka. On the other hand, we found that Belgium government accommodated its ethnic problems successfully by sharing the political power in different manner. This power sharing necessary to reduce the possibility of conflict between social groups. The second prudential reason is power sharing is a good way to ensure the stability of political order. As we know that if government work in favor of the majority and ignore minorities' views, or if every community in country does not get treated equally due to the lack of power sharing, then discrimination against minority can lead to violence and increases the risk of political instability in a country. Political instability means disturbance in the political system or a situation in which the government would not function properly or the economy might collapse in a country. Thus, power sharing in the political system is a good way to respect the feelings of every community in a country and ensure the stability of political order. The third prudential reason is power sharing maintains the unity of the nation. Lack of power sharing not only increases the chances of confliction between the majority and minority, but also damages the unity and the progress of the country. When power sharing is adopted by a democratic country, both the majority and minorities' views are taken into account. The people of all communities are more satisfied with the government, and the government can function smoothly to achieve the progress and the unity of the nation. Let's talk about moral reasons of power sharing. The first moral reason is power sharing is a very spirit of democracy. Suppressing the minorities by the majority is against the spirit of democracy. A country is a democratic country when democratic principles are adopted. There would be a kind of arrangement in which all the people of different groups, either majority or minorities, are being treated equally. And everyone must have a role in decision making. Each person must get the opportunity to say what they think. And for all this, it is necessary to share political power in different manner in a country. The second moral reason is, in democracy, people have a right to be consulted on how they are to be governed. Democracy is the rule of the people, by the people, or for the people. Thus, people must be consulted for how to be governed. If this won't be there, then it cannot be considered a democracy or a federal government. At last, all I can say, if the political power is concentrated in one or a few hands, it will be not useful for overall development of the country. In short, prudential reasons are power sharing reduces the possibility of conflicts between the social groups. It is a good way to ensure the stability of political order. It maintains the unity of the nation. Moral reasons are power sharing is a very spirit of democracy. In democracy, people have a right to be consulted on how they are to be governed. Forms of power sharing. In democracy, it is believed that the political power should not be concentrated in one or a few hands, but it should be distributed as many citizens as possible. This means that the political power or the power of decision making should not be concentrated only in the hands of the top leaders of the central government in a country, but it should be distributed in different ways. In a modern democracy, there are 4 ways of power sharing: horizontal division of power, vertical division of power, and power is shared among different social groups such as the religious and linguistic group, and power can be shared among different political parties, pressure groups, and movements. So the first form of power sharing is horizontal division of power. In this form of power sharing, power is shared among different organs of the government such as the legislature, executive, and judiciary. The legislature is the first organ of the government. It has the power to make and change the laws. And the executive is the organ of the government that is responsible for implementing laws or put the laws into action. And judiciary, the system of court, has the responsibilities of interpretations laws. This means that judiciary has the power to check the law, whether it is correct or not, or correctly implemented or not by the executive. This system of power sharing put all the three organs of the government at the same level to use their power. So this is known as horizontal division of power. And this system of power sharing also ensures that none of the organs can use unlimited power. Each organ can check others. The executive can exercise their power or use their power, but they are answerable to the legislature. In the same way, the judges are appointed by the executive, but freely they can check the functioning of the executive. And also, judiciary has the power to check the laws made by the legislature. And if it is necessary, the Supreme Court can declare a law invalid or unconstitutional. Thus, we can see here each organ of the government can check others. So, this kind of power sharing in which none of the organ can use unlimited power and each organ of the government can check others is called a system of checks and balances. Another form of power sharing is the vertical division of power. Under the vertical division of power, power is shared among different levels of the government. For example, in India, the three levels of the government are the central government, the state government, and local bodies. Under local bodies, we have municipal corporation and panchayat raj. The powers are shared among these three levels of the government. So it is called a vertical division of power sharing. And it is also known as the federal division of power, because in this system the central government cannot order to the state government to do something. This means that the state government is not subordinate or answerable to the central government. The third way of power sharing is the power is shared among different social groups such as the religious and linguistic groups. For example, the community government in Belgium, and in India we can take the example of the reserve constituency. In a country, some constituencies are reserved for the minorities or for women. The aim of this type of power sharing is to give space to the minority in the government. This is a good way to accommodate diversity in a country. Another form of power sharing is power can be shared among different political parties, pressure groups and movements. There are different political parties with different ideology, and power can be shared in different political parties in coalition government. Sometimes before the election or after the election, many parties come together and form an alliance. And after winning, the alliance form a government which is known as coalition government. Thus, in this coalition government, the power is shared among all the political parties in the alliance. Now, what are the pressure groups? Pressure groups are different groups of people who put pressure on the government to fulfill their demands. For example, women organization, labor union, interest groups such as traders and business people. What are social movements? Social movements are types of group action in which a large number of people come together and start movement to put pressure on government for fulfilling their demands. For example, anti-corruption movement in 2011 led by Anna Hazare. So under the pressure of these groups and movements, often government passes laws and make policies in favor of them. For example, Jan Lokpal Bill passed in 2013 and Women Reservation Bill, which is still pending in Parliament. Let's sum up all these points. So there are four major forms of power sharing. Horizontal division of power. Power is shared among different organs of the government such as the legislature, executive and judiciary. The legislature has the power to make and change the laws. The executive is responsible for implementing laws or put the laws into action. The judiciary has the power to check the laws, whether it is correct or not, or correctly implemented or not. This system of power sharing allows all the three organs of the government placed at the same level to use their power. Thus, it is called the horizontal division of power. And it also ensures that none of the organs can use unlimited power. Each organ can check others, so it is also known as a system of checks and balances. And second, the vertical division of power. Power is shared among different levels of the government. For example, in India, the three levels of the government are the central government, the state government, and the local bodies. Thus, the powers are shared among these three levels of the government. So, it is called the vertical division of power, or it is also known as the federal division of power. The third way of power sharing is power is shared among different social groups such as the religious and linguistic groups. For example, the community government in Belgium and reserve constituency in India. The fourth form of power sharing is power can be shared among different political parties, pressure groups, and movements. Power is shared in different political parties in the coalition government. When after winning many parties join hands to form a government, it is known as coalition government. And pressure groups are different groups of people who put pressure on government to fulfill their demands. For example, women organization, labor union, and interest groups. And social movements are types of group action in which a large number of people come together and start movement for fulfilling their demands. They put pressure on the government. For example, anti-corruption movement in 2011 led by Anna Hazare. And under the pressure of these groups and movement, the government passes laws and makes policies in favor of them. For example, the Jan Lokpal bill passed in 2030 and Women Reservation bill which is still pending in Parliament. I hope this video is useful for you. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.